Atlantic Hockey champs come to the Queen City with high stakes in this conference battle. It's the AIC Yellow Jackets taking on the Canisius College Golden Griffins from the Lecom Harbor Center in downtown Buffalo, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome into College Hockey Night in Buffalo, presented by Franco's Pizza. I'm your host, Griffin, Della, Penna, joined alongside with our Canisius Hockey insider, Vinnie, Christiano. And Vinnie, it was the opening weekend of a three-game set for Canisius against Holy Cross. Lost in a shootout on Saturday, but did manage to pick up their first conference point.
Yeah, the first point is big. However, we talk a lot about how you got to get points early. That is going to be imperative to your success late in the season. And we take a look at some of the highlights from this past weekend. Canisius lost 3-1 on Friday. They scored first 3 straight goals from Holy Cross, but then Holy Cross opening the scoring on Saturday before eventually Ryan Miato got his second of the weekend.
Yeah, and that was a huge goal for Canisius. Holy Cross does get the lead back right here. And then it was interesting for Canisius having to battle back, but Keaton Mastrodonato getting his second goal of the year with just 2 minutes left to play.
Yeah, you need the big players like that to make big plays in these big games. John Hawthorne with maybe the biggest play of the year, the save of the year. That save was wild. That's going to be on highlight reels for a long time.
And then going into then a shootout, Holy Cross would net their first 2 attempts. Canisius would not convert on either of them, meaning that's how they got their first conference point. But nevertheless, as now we look at the Buffalo News storylines for this weekend's matchup, it isn't just tough sledding right now for Canisius, as dropping both games against RIT was AIC last weekend.
Yeah, AIC has also struggled as of late. They were 0-2 against the Tigers. Canisius trying to get their footing under them, as are the Yellow Jackets. So going to be an interesting matchup as Canisius struggled early in conference play. They've been outscored 14-7 since their series against Miami of Ohio.
Well, there's also a very prominent figure that's going to be at Lecom Harbor Center on Friday, and that's Robert DiGregorio, the commissioner of Atlantic Hockey.
Yeah, he's been a staple in college athletics for a very long time, spent more than 40 years there, 20 years. He was the first commissioner of Atlantic Hockey. He's been there for 2 decades. He also spent 13 with College Hockey America. So a lot of stuff sort of involved in collegiate athletics. He's very, very important.
Another prominent figure here in Buffalo is Canisius head coach Trevor Large. Let's hear what he has to say about this weekend's matchup against AIC. Back here on Trevor's Take with head coach Trevor Large. Coach, AIC coming to town this week. What's the overall game plan against the reigning champs?
Be ready. You know, they're a team that they'll test you in all areas. And a lot of teams in the conference will. They just happen to be the opponent that we have right now. You know, our focus specifically early in the season is all the things that we're doing. You know, we have to be ready. They're a team that's well coached. I know Coach Lang very well. He's an excellent coach. They have had a lot of success lately. That'll have our guys' attention. We don't really have to talk about that. We'll be ready. You know, they're a team that doesn't beat themselves. They have good details. You know, in all areas they have a lot of new, and so do we. I think both teams are trying to figure that out. So it's a great test to see if the things that we're working on actually work. But right now that focus is definitely on us wearing gold this weekend.
And you've already told me that this has been a really good week of practice for you guys. What specifically has been some of the talking points in preparation for AIC?
Well, it's the details within the system. I think our guys know, you know, what we want to do, but we're asking for a higher commitment and dedication to the details. Is every guy wearing gold going to check when it's appropriate? Is every guy wearing gold going to stop in and around the blue paint of the opponent? Is every guy wearing gold going to track and communicate and help? Whether you're on the ice, on the bench, you know, we need a higher dedication to our game. We're trying to be very specific with our team to be able to, so they know what that looks like. And at the same time, there's a balance. We need the mentality that, you know, we need to find space offensively. We need to be creative. So it's a delicate balance, but we're definitely leaning on the details currently.
So that's what Coach Large thinks. Vinnie, what are you expecting from the Yellow Jackets?
Well, the Canisius Bookstore Fast Fact tells us a little bit. Canisius has the advantage in the all-time series, more so than any other team they've played in their Division I history. However, recent history has the Yellow Jackets out in front. I expect sort of the same thing this weekend. 2 really, really good teams that are trying to get back on track here at the Lecom Harbor Center.
Well, that is a quick look at this series, as it will be Canisius and AIC, and now it's coming to you live on FloHockey.